In September 2019, the fate of MH370 continues to confound investigators. The majority of the search has taken place over the ocean, but British video producer Ian Wilson suddenly has a thought when revisiting details of this case. What if the lost Boeing 777 had actually crashed on land in an area where it would be hard to find, such as a remote jungle? In his free time, Ian begins poring through satellite maps of the possible flight paths, concentrating on the rainforests of Southeast Asia.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. What I told you. Come here. Oh, fuck. Okay, I don't know what you're doing. You can literally hear that. You can literally hear that. No. What the fuck? My God. What the fuck? No.
A man named Andy explains that him and his wife lived a normal life in the house he grew up in. Until one day, while alone in the house, he was laying on his bed when suddenly he hears something outside his room calling out to him.
St. Peter is also an important figure in Leonardo's hidden symbolism. The chief apostle holds a knife near Judas's back, perhaps suggesting Iscariot's pending demise. More commonly, interpreters of the scene see Peter's knife as foreshadowing the fact that later that night he would cut off the ear of Malchus, the servant of the high priest, who came to arrest Jesus, a potential symbol of divine justice. Peter's left hand is at the throat of the person next to him, traditionally interpreted as John, the disciple whom Jesus loved. Many interpreters of the painting claim that this is the equivalent of a Masonic penal sign placed at the throat of John, symbolic of the tension between Peter and John, so aptly depicted in the Gospel of St. John. A more controversial aspect of this famed painting is the fact that Leonardo depicted Jesus without a halo, when every version of the Last Supper prior to this painting depicted Jesus with a nimbus or halo, and his disciples are also traditionally portrayed with halos. Why would he leave this symbol out of the painting? Many believe that this is Leonardo's attempt to say that he is a skeptic and a naturalist, that he has doubts about the divinity of Jesus and the inspired nature of his apostles. Thus, the lack of halos has been seen as a sign that the disciples were common people rather than saints, and Jesus himself was actually mortal rather than divine.
However, if you've noticed, there's one figure in the painting we've left out. Well, the reason is that it's actually unknown who Da Vinci was actually trying to portray, due to the unusual nature of the figure. Well, you see, while the Apostle John is continually debated to be the feminine figure seated next to Jesus, seeing as Da Vinci had frequently portrayed John with feminine mannerisms in his earlier artworks, many people think that this isn't John depicted here at all, and the mysterious figure in the portrait is actually Mary Magdalene. depending on who you listen to. The character of Mary Magdalene throughout history is believed to be significantly reduced to just a prostitute or a wrecked woman who was redeemed after turning to Christ. However, if you look back at early Christian writings, Mary Magdalene was actually portrayed as not just an ordinary follower, but Jesus' trusted companion, his wife. And whether you want to accept it or not, the Gospel of Mary, a 2nd century AD manuscript discovered in Egypt in 1896, says that Mary Magdalene was more knowledgeable and powerful than Jesus' male disciples. If we dig a bit deeper, in the Gospel of Philip, Mary Magdalene was also identified as Jesus' companion, saying that Jesus used to kiss Mary, often on her, with the last word of the sentence missing due to damage. However, scholars often substituted the word mouth for it. Now that might be a stretch, but if we examine the painting closely, experts have pointed out that the formation of the letter V can be seen between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and is often thought to represent the womb. Could this mean that Jesus and Mary had a child together? But going deeper, when we include Jesus and Mary, it no longer forms a V but rather an M shape, which many have taken to believe meant matrimonio. Was Da Vinci subtly trying to hint that the pair was secretly wedded? Well, the wife of Jesus, even though a significant theory made popular by the Da Vinci Code, isn't the only theory. This man might have just figured out the true meaning behind the Last Supper. Slavisa Pesci, an information technologist, discovered that when a mirror image of the painting is overlaid on top of the Last Supper, new hidden figures appear. To be specific, 4 different figures. If you look at the end of the table, you'll find 2 figures that look like the Templar Knights, another figure holding a baby, and a chalice that appears in front of Jesus Christ. Was Da Vinci trying to tell us about the hidden location of the Holy Grail? It certainly would explain the appearance of the Knights Templar, who are said throughout history to have been its guardians. But what if the painting was trying to tell us that the Holy Grail was not about some old cup, but a person instead?